I would like to officially say good morning. Welcome to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Vicki Jeter. I am your practitioner spiritual director for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living Teaching Chapter. And I just want to begin by saying I hope you all had a fabulous week following Mother's Day. For us, it was Mother's Day week, and I hope it was the same for you all as well. Let us take a moment for setting our intention for being here. Give yourself the opportunity to settle in and individually check in and see what your intention for being here is today. Together, our shared intention for this service is a shift from the shadow side of this month's theme of light in the shadows. And today I am delighted that we have Reverend Marie Kirkland as our guest speaker, and she's going to shift our focus directly into the light. So yay, welcome Reverend Marie, and I will introduce her more officially in just a bit. Now let us open with a prayer. And I open this prayer on gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit, for the gift of this day. Thank you for the gift of life and for the opportunity to have that life more abundantly because we are together. I recognize the presence of the one love, the one law that meets each of us where we show up and collectively where we show up together, so that I know that each person here is here by divine appointment to both give and receive. And I bless Reverend Marie's presence, knowing that she is a vessel of the divine, and knowing that she knows her light from within, that she is able to jubilantly guide us all to that place. So for this time and for the joy of it, I simply say thank you, thank you, thank you, presence of life. And I release it into the law, allowing it to simply be. And so it is. And so we do welcome each and every one of you with our whole hearts to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living Teaching Chapter. Whether you're here with us this morning or watching on Zoom, thank you for your presence today. We start each day greeting God and the angels, LCSL as an entity, and each and every one of you. Vernon and I set up the God candle and invite everyone who finds us as a seeker, whether it's your first time with us today or whether you've been with us many, many times. Know that you are welcome, no matter what faith or path of life you come from, no matter what you've been told to believe. You are welcome here to find your way and your time. So this will move us directly into our opening song, which affirms this as One Love by Playing for Change Band.
People get ready. All you need is faith. So people get ready. We gonna make it as the human race. One love. Train coming, don't need
a train a-coming, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and board them. Don't need no ticket,
You just thank
the Lord. Yeah,
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright.
everybody sing it.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright.
Oh my goodness, that song is so much fun. I saw you all dancing and singing. It's a beautiful thing. And so this will move us right into, say with me, if you will, our mission and vision statement. The mission of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God. And our vision, a world that honors and respects all people. As we know, spiritual living is only as good as we can relate to it and apply it in our daily lives. So each week we have an application of what we believe. These are thoughts to be put into practice and perhaps discussed in opportunities like sharing time. And this week's application of what we believe is, as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And this comes from Marianne Williamson's very famous quote that begins with, we're not actually afraid of not having power, we're actually afraid of how much power we have. And so this brings us to our reading and meditation with Miss Tammy Ellis.
Good morning. I'm honored to be Practitioner of the Week. Y'all will be in my prayers this week and always. And for the reading and the meditation this week, I found this book, and this book found me recently. It's so beautiful. It is entitled, I Am Love, a Book of Compassion. This is by Susan Verde. This book is my love letter to the world, as each one of us is worthy of love in all its forms and expressions, and we are all capable of adding light to the world when we listen to our hearts and choose love. When I see someone going through a storm of hurt and unfairness, anger and sadness, when the sun disappears and the skies grow dark, and I see there is fear, I ask myself, what can I do to let the light back in? I put my hands on my heart and listen, and that is where I find the answer. I have compassion. I act with tenderness. I am love. I can listen and not say a word. I can be there. Love is being present. I can hug and hold and say, everything will be all right. Love is comfort. I can speak softly and choose my words and actions carefully. Love is gentle. I can give thanks for all I have and am able to share. Love is gratitude. I can keep my mind and body safe and healthy. Love is taking care of me. I can express what's important to me. Love is creative through music, art, or my own creative way. I can know that no one is perfect. Love is understanding. I can do my best to make things better when something is wrong. Love is effort. I can celebrate those I've loved before. Love is remembering. I can find goodness in a kind word, a helping hand, or a shared smile. Love is tiny gestures. I can breathe in the air that the whole world shares and know all creatures are made from the very same stardust. Love is connection. When the clouds roll in, for others and for me, I know now there's something I can do. I can let my heart lead the way. I am love. You are love. We are love. And with love, we weather the storm and light up the sky together. And now for the meditation, if you'd like, just to allow yourself to relax even more into your chair, wherever you're sitting. And if you'd like to, place your hand or hands on your heart space, on your chest. Close your eyes or look down and begin to breathe slowly in through your nose, directing your breath to your heart. Imagine each breath that you're lighting up your heart with a warm, bright light. Notice how your heart feels. Placing a hand on our heart actually causes the release of a chemical in the brain called oxytocin, which simply put is the hormone of safety, bonding, and connection. This gesture can be extremely soothing to our nervous system. As you continue to breathe, bring in and bring to mind a moment when you felt completely loved and safe. This might be a time with someone in your family, a beloved friend, a beloved animal friend. You might think of a kind gesture or word they gave you or did that made you feel that way. And notice how that feels in your heart and in your body. And as you feel that light, that love, that kindness, let it travel from your heart space into your shoulders, down into your arms, all the way down into your fingertips and your thumb. Continuing to breathe and allowing that love and light to go from your heart space up into your neck, your head, your face, all around your ears. And with each breath, continuing to let that beautiful love and light from your heart space go throughout your middle part of your body, your torso, in and through your lungs and all your organs inside. With each breath, just sending that love and light down in through your hips, down in through your thighs, your knees, your lower legs. And that love and light continues from your heart space, continues to flow with each breath down into your ankles, your heels, your feet, into each of your toes, feeling grounded where you sit. I give love. As I feel love and light I give love and light. May your light within shine brightly, and may we share our light and love, knowing that anytime we can return to a meditation space and feel more light and love. And so it is. And now moving to this beautiful song by India Ari called I Am Light.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 Yeah. I am light. I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. Oh, light. Yeah. Oh, light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Yeah. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
And now it is my absolute pleasure to do a little recap, reminding you all that our yearly theme is Living Out Loud. Our theme for the month, Light Within the Shadows, as we know. And today is Shining the Light Within, with our guest speaker, Miss Reverend Marie. And I'm going to first give you her official professional introduction, and then I have a quick little story to share. Reverend Marie is an ordained minister with Centers for Spiritual Living. She is the founder and spiritual director of the Living Aligned Focus Ministry. So Reverend Marie is our first guest speaker who actually has a focus ministry rather than a regular center. Her life's work is centered around the harmonious fusion of practical spirituality and intentional living. Through sacred conversations and circles, she empowers individuals and spiritual communities to align with their highest vision and purpose as they share their meaningful work in the world. And so the story that we have to share is we just discovered this morning that Reverend Marie is actually a part of how I got launched onto my journey to become a minister, because some of you may recall that the person who is today Reverend Cindy Shalom years ago was actually a distance practitioner for our center, and Reverend Cindy was going through ministerial school while she was a practitioner for us, and she was a student through the Florida campus. As most of you know, that's where I'm a student out of, is the Florida campus for the School of Spiritual Leadership. And so when Reverend Cindy got to about the point I'm at now, she was ready to do her paneling for ministerial school. And actually, you know what? I'm saying that wrong. She was being ordained. Reverend Cindy was being ordained as a minister when this happened. And she invited me to her ordination. So I go to Florida, and Reverend Marie was then paneling for her ministerial license in that group in Florida. That for that weekend, it was a weekend long. It was 2 days, and about 22 people were there, either getting their prac license or getting their ministerial license or being ordained. And so we're just realizing that all of that came together all at the same time. And that's actually the first time I met Reverend Marie. So here we are now today. And it is just too much fun then to recognize the synchronicities. And it is on that note that I turn this over to you, Reverend Marie.
Oh my goodness, it is so good to be here. So good morning, CSL, Louisville Teaching Chapter. I'm so happy to be here. So it was Ralph Waldo Emerson who shared what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So as Vicki shared, the title of my talk today is Shining the Light Within. So within each of us resides a divine light that's just waiting to shine. So today, as we explore the light within, we will journey through life's intersections of truth, paradox, fear, and faith. Each path illuminates a different aspect of our inner light. So today we get to celebrate the divine as we recognize the intricacies of our human experience and acknowledge the light as our source of wisdom and strength. So I begin today with the metaphysical story of Ava. Her extraordinary journey will serve as our beacon today, our beacon of light. So once upon a time in a small town nestled between the mountains and the sea lived a woman named Ava. Now she was a mother, a daughter, and a friend who was loved and loving. She lived an everyday life. She was happy, fulfilled, but yet there was something longing in her heart, a stirring in her soul that it just wouldn't let her be. She yearned for something more, something deeper, something transcendent. And it was during a late night conversation with her mother, who was near her transition, that Ava received a gentle nudge from spirit. Her mother, with a tender smile of unspoken wisdom, said, Ava, remember, you are not here by accident. You are here for a reason. There is a purpose behind you and a path before you. So it is time for you to continue your journey and take the next step. This profound message from her mother became a catalyst for Ava's spiritual journey. So with her mother's words echoing in her heart, she began her journey. She began with an open heart and a curious mind. So along the way, as often happens when we're on a spiritual journey, she met other spiritual travelers, each on their own journey of discovery, of self-discovery. They shared stories and experiences, and this deepened Ava's understanding of what her purpose and what her path is. So one day, as she was traveling, she came upon an intersection. Now, as she stood in the middle of this intersection, she looked around and she noticed that there were 4 paths before her, each representing an important aspect of life's journey. So there was truth before her, paradox behind her, 2 things being true at one time, fear to the left of her and faith to the right. Each path was illuminated by the soft, comforting light that seemed to call out to her. So she stood there and she looked around and she decided she was going to choose the path of truth first. And so this path is a road of authenticity and transparency. And along this path, she met an old man who gifted her a small mirror. And looking into it, she's seen her true self, her strengths, her weaknesses, and her potential. And it was a moment of profound realization. It was a moment of peace. So she took a moment and she breathed it in. She thought about that moment of seeing her true self. And she thanked the man and she continued on her path. And as she did, she silently affirmed to herself, I am light. And so next she looked around and she chose the path of paradox. Now this path was filled with unexpected twists and turns. And on this path, she met a young woman. Now this young woman gifted her a book of ancient wisdom. Reading it, she discovered that 2 opposing thoughts, 2 things can be true at the same time. And so what this did is it broadened her perspective and increased her understanding of life, of life's complexities. And so she considered that and she just took a moment to breathe that in. So after she experienced truth and then she experienced paradox, she took a breath and she turned towards fear. Now, fear was a path that was just shrouded in shadows, but there was a soft golden light that beckoned her forward. Along this path, she met a child, a small child who was crying, and this child was afraid of the dark. So Ava took a moment and she comforted the child, showing him that even in the darkness, that they were safe, that they were the light. And so this encounter, what it did for Ava is that she realized that fears are merely shadows. And that as she faced them, that it would only make her light shine brighter. And so she said to herself again, she affirmed, I am light. And so finally, Ava, she chose the path of faith. Now this path was illumined with a warm and comforting light. And here she met a serene monk who handed her a small lantern. This lantern, he told her, was filled with the light of faith. And as Ava walked this path, the light of faith guided her through spiritual principles, showing her that even in the darkest moments, that there is always a guiding light. So throughout her journey, Ava discovered the harmony between her shadow and her light. And her journey was transformative. So with each step, with each path, she realized that the light within her was growing even brighter. And she learned to radiate her light, illuminating her path and the path of others. Yes. And so as we consider Ava's journey and her journey while she stood in that intersection and considered how she was going to take the next step. Yeah. Let's take a little closer look at the realm of truth. And so in truth, we immerse ourselves in the pursuit of authenticity, transparency, and sincerity. I'm going to say that again. We immerse ourselves in authenticity, transparency, and sincerity. And it is an inner journey. Oh, it is an inner journey, and it is an inner glance that we take. We come face to face with our true selves, right? Our strengths, our weaknesses, and our infinite potential. Even though it can be overwhelming, right? So at times it can be overwhelming, and it is essential. It's essential for our spiritual growth. Yes. And so in Ava's journey, her encounter with truth comes in the form of a mirror, reflecting her in her purest form. And so it serves as a moment of profound realization and acceptance, an encounter that leads her to affirm, I am light. And so what my invitation here is, as we think about truth, and you come upon a mirror today, sometime today you will come upon a mirror. And as you look into that mirror, affirm to yourself what your truth is, what your light is, and what you are shining. So with this understanding of truth, let's take another look at paradox. Now, life is full of complexities and contradictions and, two things being true at one time. Now, I don't know about you, but I have experienced that. And that with paradox, though, we learn to navigate this. And so what it teaches us is that two things can actually be true, and they can exist in harmony. And this broadens our perspective. And what this does is it creates a greater wisdom, in our lives. So for Ava, the book of the ancient wisdom, it represented this intersection. It represented the path of paradox. So the wisdom on the pages that she read, it allowed her to comprehend life's contradictions and reminding her that even in the midst of really not understanding at that moment how two things can be true, that she is still light. She is still light. So as we hold the wisdom of the paradox in our mind, let us courageously, right, as one does when we look at fear, courageously venture into the path of fear. So now, while fear often carries a negative connotation, it is a very important aspect of our spiritual journey. Right? It represents the shadows, our insecurities, our doubts, and confronting our fears. It's a transformative process, right? And what it does is it dispels our illusions. As we confront it, it brings us closer to the light. Now, Ava's experience on this path of fear, it was a valuable lesson for her. So as she comforted the scared child, she confronted her own fears. She realized that she remains the light, even while she was in the darkness. Yes. And so as we breathe that in, the invitation is for us to now turn towards faith. Now, faith is that beacon that guides us on our spiritual journey. So it lights up our path, right? Through uncertainties and doubts, and when we don't even know what the next step is, it provides us hope and reassurance and reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there's always a guiding light. In Ava's journey, the lantern that was filled with light of faith, it illuminated her path and allowed her to take another step. And it represented the power of spiritual principle and practice, which guides us through our journey. Right? And so, as we are thinking about this truth and paradox, in fear and faith, I am reminded of just 6 months ago when I stood in the center of this intersection. And as my mother was making her transition, and how we came together as a family and held that space, and as we accompanied her onto her next adventure in consciousness, how that, yes, the truth is that her body was there and ready to be released. And then the paradox of, yes, we were ready, but no, we were not ready. And the fear of what was next. And then there was the truth, you know? There was the truth that she is divinely guided, and that we are present with her. And so as I shared this with you, and knowing that she is right here present with me, closer than my very breath, I know that you too have experiences where you have stepped into that intersection of life and not knowing which path to go down. And so what I share is just to stand in that intersection. And this is where we do our work. This is where we go within. This is where we develop the practices that will help us to continue to shine our light within. And so as a person who my life's work is about practical spirituality, I want to share some just some tools that you can use. And so as human beings on this journey, we all carry that innate light within us. You know, however, as we stand in the intersection of life ebbs and flows, we need some reminders in how to do that. So here's a few spiritual practices. Mindful meditation. This allows us to focus on our present state of being, to embrace a way of being that invites us to acknowledge and accept our feelings, our thoughts, our sensations without judgment. And so practicing mindful meditation daily can help us stay connected, right, with our inner light. Affirmations. Of course, they are a powerful tool. And Ava used, I am light, right? And she repeated this on her journey. What is your affirmation, right? And so that you can align with the highest self, your highest self. Gratitude. Expressing gratitude for the blessings that we already have as we shift our focus in between the different paths of life. This positive practice can help us stay connected with who we are, with our inner light, and with our relationship with the God of our understanding. Yes. And sacred service, serving others selflessly, is a beautiful way to shine our light, right? And so as we shine our loving kindness in the world, our light shines even brighter, right? And so I have a call to action for you. I have an invitation. So today, we journey through the intersections, the 4 intersections. We witnessed Ava's transformation. I told you just a little bit about one of the last times I stood in an intersection. And so now it's time for you to maybe consider applying this story. Consider applying it to your life. So my invitation today is for you to reflect on your own spiritual journey, right? Where are you standing right now? Are you entering the path of truth, exploring authenticity? Are you navigating the complexities of paradox and trying to balance the 2 opposite truths? Are you facing your fears, learning to shine your light even in the shadows? Or are you in the warm embrace of faith, allowing it to guide your path? And so once you take that moment, you know, later today, even in this moment, and you identify where you are, use the spiritual practices I just shared with you to help you illuminate your path. Meditate mindfully, affirm your truth, express gratitude, and serve others. Remember, we are all light. We are all light, and it is our purpose to let that light shine brightly. So now I invite you to join me as we go into prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're so guided to, and feel the energy of life simply flowing through you. And as you exhale, release any doubts, any fears that you have surfaced, and just simply inhale peace, exhale worry. So as I speak these words, know that they are true for each of us right here and now. And so there is only one life, one presence, one divine source, right? And as we are here together, a reflection of the divine, a reflection of that peace, that oneness. We know as we breathe in, there's one breath. And so as we are on this magnificent human journey and we are in the intersections of truth, we are in the intersections of paradox, fear, faith, each one serving its divine purpose in our spiritual growth, we acknowledge that we are light, that we are shining on light. We are divine, radiant light. We affirm, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of brokenness inside. I am light. We embrace this truth, our divine nature. We navigate through life. We simply practice and know that as we shine our light, we shine brighter. And so I am grateful for this spiritual journey. I am grateful for this time together. I am grateful for it all. So as I know this truth, I simply release it to the divine alchemy of love and law, knowing that it is already done. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Marie. So beautiful, the message. I really feel inspired by that. Thank you so much. And now we're moving into our affirmation for today, our prosperity affirmation. If you'll please listen. First, I'll read it and then we'll do it together. I am a persistent and prosperous, life-affirming vessel of spirit. And please say it with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I am a persistent and prosperous, life-affirming vessel of spirit.
And I am receiving this blessing from Tammy as I know that the flow of this energy is coming through all of us like a whirlwind and moving right through this prosperity basket. We are so very, very grateful for all of your time, talents, and tithing treasures that move through Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. And you can always find your means for giving in the chat on Sundays. And if anything is a question for you about how to keep that circulation moving through you to us and back to you again, just let us know because we're happy to help you in doing that. I simply say yes. I receive and believe, and I release it back out into the community to be magnified tenfold. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. There but for the grace of God go we. Amen.
And now for our announcements of the day. Next week, we look forward to Dr. Tony LaMotta speaking at our service next Sunday on Fear to Faith. We're also, after next Sunday's service, going to have a Fear to Faith workshop with her. We encourage you to join. It's an amazing process and workshop. I attended this last year and several of us did. And I was speaking for myself, I still have the paper as a result of the process up on my bathroom mirror to remind me to release fear and stay in my faith. And so we really hope you can join us. It'd be for a love offering possibility of $30. And it's next Sunday after service, 12:15 to 2:15. Please join us.
And Tammy, before we move to the next announcement, I just want to add one logistical thing to that. If you even think you might attend this workshop, which I hope we all do, because as a group, it will be transformative for our community. You know, if you're not able to embrace a love offering, please don't worry about that. Allow yourself to be gifted. If you can attend this workshop, please do. And what I'm saying is, let me know if you're even considering being there, because there is a form that is a part of the process that's going to be really, really good for you guys to have in advance. Because one thing on Zoom, we don't have the ability to do handouts. We can't, you know, hand you the piece of paper standing right there. And so let me know if you might possibly attend this, and I will make sure you have the worksheet that Reverend Tony will be walking us through. Thank you, Tammy. Press on.
Thank you, Vicki. All right, and so we're going to have or would you like to talk about this one, Vicki? This is really special time.
I'm really, thank you so much. So I just want to let you guys know with a little advance that my first time away from the center since I began as your spiritual director is coming up, and this is true for Vernon too. Vernon and I will be going together to Florida, as I was describing in my description of meeting Reverend Marie. We're going to go for graduation to the Florida campus, which is in Orlando, and we'll be leaving about the 5th or 6th of June, and we'll be gone for a week. And that Saturday on the 10th of June is my actual graduation for receiving my ecclesiastical degree. That's a little different than my licensing, which you guys know I'm still in the process of that. But this piece is complete. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing. And there is going to be a Zoom link offered for you guys who can click in and watch the graduation. And I don't have that yet, but I will soon. And when I do, I'll be getting it out to as many people as possible. The graduation is at 2 o'clock on Saturday, the 10th of June. And I don't need anything from you at all. I'm just letting you know you can put this, pencil it in on your calendars if you would like. And thank you very much.
Very exciting, Vicki. Look so forward to celebrating with you. And if you'll please stay with us for sharing time after the benediction, after the service. We'd love to hear what you have on your mind and your heart. And if you'll stay with me on the count of 3, to each other and to ourselves. 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. And now for this beautiful song, We Are the World, by African Aid, 1985.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. just lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the one to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. When you're down and out and there seems no hope at all, but if you just believe, there's nowhere we can fall. Well, let's realize, oh, that a change can only come when we stand together as one. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's no choice we're making. We're saving our lives. We'll make a better day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. All right, let me hear you. We are the world. We are the children. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day. So let's start giving. Let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a brighter day, just you and me. Come on now, let me hear you. We are the world. We are the world. We are the children. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. Yeah. We are the world. We are the world. We are the children. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day. So let's start giving. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. Yeah, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. So let's start giving. We're saving our own lives. We'll make a better day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the world. We are the children. Yes, sir. We are the ones that make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. Good God. We are the children. We are the ones who make a better day. So let's start giving. All right, did you hear what I said? There's a choice we're making.
Let us take a breath and allow that to magnify our unity. And say with me, if it speaks to you, our benediction. Today, praying for our nation and our world, I remember our oneness with the divine, with each other, and with all of life. I affirm this truth of wholeness is revealed in our nation as peace, harmony, joy, love, justice, and abundance. In gratitude, we are poised to receive guidance and blessings. Thank you, God, forever. Amen.